This is Scott the Fix-It Guy. Our goal with our videos is to empower you to be able to do the repairs on your own and save a whole lot of money and also get that great feeling of having fixed it by yourself.
This is a model 110-975-88210, and this is made by Whirlpool. These are really good. It says Kenmore, but Whirlpool makes it. These are really good dryers. I've been having some trouble with kind of a smoking smell. Might be the belt burning. It starts good though. Whenever you, it's already in the arm position. I think the start button might actually be stuck, because it shouldn't really start unless you press that and that. But this might be just jammed. It's starting really good. I'm just going to take a look and see how the belt's doing. So in this model, it's pretty cool. You can just take off this panel and get right in there. I'm going to unplug it first. There we go. Maybe 4 inches in from the side is a little thing you're going to push in with paint scraper's great. Even a standard head screwdriver would work. Do one on this side. You kind of push it in, pull it out towards you. This little clip should be right here. It just holds on the bottom. So let's look in there and see. We can see it just looks a little dirty in there, so go and clean up the motor. I think that's all it's going to take. And I'm just going to disconnect this little hose right here. Just pulls off. And I'm going to take out a few screws to get this panel off. These 2 Phillips head screws. This one. Pull this toward me a little bit and then hinge it back. There we go. And I'm going to disconnect these 2 so I can get the top off. Actually, there's a third one here too, but the bolt's missing. We can slide this toward us to get this out. Get the top off. We should have a couple of screws here to remove and a couple at the bottom. I got one here, one here. These are 1/4 inch. A couple at the top. Okay. So I'm going to lift up a little bit. This out here, so the wheels are holding up the weight. So I missed one ground screw here. Let me get that out right there. There we go. Filter housing off here too. Okay. There we go. Okay. I'm just going to take off this door spring, and I got one little wire here. I'm going to pull out. It's part of the moisture sensor. Just hinge it out. Take off these 2 door 2 leads. This one. Hinge this out this way. Okay. So I'm going to get the tumbler off. Reach back here. Undo the belt. Okay, belt's undone. Get this out of here. I'm just going to clean up this motor. That's what's causing the problem, is it's just so impacted by the lint that it creates a possible fire hazard, and also the motor just can't cool itself down because there's not enough airflow. I want to get all the lint away from the roller wheels. I'm just using a little wire brush. Use a vacuum is great with an extension tool. And get all the lint off of the heater assembly, because that's where you could maybe get a fire. And it's all cleaned up. So make sure you have it unplugged, and you're going to be fine. So this is the thermal fuse right here. If this gets too hot, this thing will blow and cut power, so you can just replace this really easily. This is the thermostat, and you want to make sure you're going to get all the lint clear of where the electrical contacts are. Sometimes you can get a spark. And this is the main problem though. Here we can just see a ton of lint has accumulated here because of the fan. It's used to cool down the motor as it spins, but there's too much stuff around it. It just gets too hot, and when it gets too hot, it has a thermal cutout. It will cut power to the motor. So you'll notice that it's a lot of lint. You'll notice that during the cycle, the motor will just stop, and then after it cools for a little bit, if you press start again, it'll start back up. But if you can clear out the lint, usually that's enough. These motors last a long time. Probably don't need a new motor. So I'm going to clean it all up. I'm also going to use some spray electrical cleaner to help to clean the electrical contacts, which was helpful too. Alright, so I'm going to use the brush. Because it's got the wire brush kind of grabs onto the lint. You can use an old toothbrush too, just something with bristles. This is the cooling assembly here, so definitely want to get that free of lint. But also all these surrounding areas are air channels, and the more stuff that's in there, the less airflow, and the motor just gets too hot, and it has a way to protect itself. It just kills the power. But luckily that one is a automatic resetting one, so once it cools down, the switch closes again and allows power to go through. Another thing that could be causing your dryer trouble, if it doesn't have heat, could be this one, which is on the burner assembly. May have gotten too hot. Usually that's because you have a vent tube that's obstructed. So this one was still doing good. It was just cutting out periodically with the motor, and that's due to that motor just being so dirty. Be a little careful in here you don't hit this thing, the igniter, because it's kind of fragile, but try to get the lint out of the burner tube. Good thing about the lint is it's super combustible, so if it does ever catch fire, which is pretty common, it'll burn so rapidly that within a second or two the flame's gone. And because it's gone so fast, it usually does not catch other things on fire like plastic. If there's so much lint though that during ignition there's just too much fuel, it'll burn too long, and then it gets too hot. And when it gets too hot, other things can start to burn, and that's what can cause a house fire or dryer fire. So if you do this, say once a year, you're going to be good. Say you've had a dryer for 10 years and you've never done it, it's okay. You just want to, been lucky, nothing's happened. You want to go ahead and open it up and do this. Especially the two areas of concern are the motor, what we're doing here, and the burner tube area. This is the flame sensor. Just be a little gentle with these, not too much pressure. They're fragile. Alright, I've got some electrical cleaner. You get this at Home Depot in the electrical section. Spray it in here. Get some of the areas I can't reach. Alright, looks a lot better. That is going to be able to cool so much better. Here's all the lint that was surrounding the motor. So we're going to get this tool in here and clean out the vent. Add another 3 feet by twisting it on. A little further. Okay, I'll add another 3 feet. One more 3-foot section. Spin off 3. Tighten it. Spin off 3, release it out of the chuck, tighten it, release 3, tighten, alright, not too much material, it's good. Get the motor a lot cleaner, just a little more debris in there. Let me get that stuff loose. Just going to clean up the cabinet a little bit too, because any of the stuff that's laying around may end up being fuel for a fire, although this amount is not, I think, at a dangerous point, but it just builds up. So So the airflow for this motor now is so much better. It's going to not get overheated, and the thermal cutout will not cut out. It'll just dry as it should. So you got rid of all that huge amount of lint. I'm going to put the drum back in. So I'm going to slide it in. Get it over here by the rear bearing, back here. Just going to spin it a little bit, and we'll reattach the belt. Just make sure the belt's not twisted. Nice and flat. Tendency to twist right there. So the old belt was getting pretty crispy here. You can see all these little breaks in the rubber. It was only going to last maybe about 3 more months. So I'm going to reach in and put the belt over the spring-loaded idler wheel, and then I'll pull it over the motor shaft. So I'm pushing the idler wheel to my left. Feel the spring tension, and I'm going to push it up over the motor pulley. So it's over the motor pulley, and I'm going to just rotate it a couple of times before I do the final assembly. I want to make sure the belt is not twisted and that it doesn't come off as I'm spinning it. And get the disconnect this puppy. I don't want it to come off. It's attached somewhere. Okay. All right, I'm gonna put the front manifold back on, and I'm just going to catch these little wheels underneath the drum, and then I'll lift up to get it over here, and I can put those screws in to hold in the top. Put that screw in, put the screw in. Alright, put these back together. So this is the one for the light, and then got one here for the door. All right, I got another one here for the door. Okay, so those guys are on there nice and tight. Alright, I'm going to put this up through here, this clip to hold the wire harness. Looks good. So we're going to put a couple of screws in at the bottom here. Alright. I'm going to push the whole thing to my right a little bit to line up that hole. There we go. Got one on the other side here. Okay, we're going to put this filter housing back in. I'm going to just reach in and clean out some of the lint real quick before we put it back together. This stuff just builds up on the side. Get that out. Okay. Make sure that tube's clear. going to get this over this lip right here, and then push it up over there. And I can add those screws back in to hold it in position. I put that ground screw back in too. That one. Put this little tube back on. There we go. Put the screw back in. And we got one more. This one is a ground screw. There's a door spring here. You just got to reach up, hook it up to the upper part. Maybe I'll do the upper part first. There we go. I'll stretch it down, get the lower part. We'll do the same on the other side here. And go to the upper part here, lower part here. All right. We'll put the bottom panel back on. It's going to slip over these little bottom pieces in the slot. One slot, two slot. Push it in to close it. Got it. All right, we'll put the top panel back on. It's going to go in position. I'm going to slide it in. There we go. Add these. There are 3 screws originally, but I think I only had 2, so I'm going to put the 2 back in. Close this upper panel by hinging it. Get these little feet to go in. Put in those 2 Phillips head screws. Okay, we'll plug it back in. We got those screws back in. Got a good spin. Got a lot of lint coming out there. Spinning really good. Filter back in. Stuff out of the side here.
Thanks so much for watching our video. We really appreciate your support. And when you get a chance, please press the subscribe button below so you can be subscribed, and also the notification bell so we can send you more videos about appliance repair. Please also give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. If you really liked the video and it really helped you, please press this new applaud button and you can show your support and also get a nice clapping hands for your video. Thanks again.